I'm going to show you how to create a lift band shade using the new SureShade products from Rowley Company. You'll start by creating a flat Roman shade of any style. This is a ribbed shade that has our iron-on rib tape and ribs inserted into the rib tape. You can make a flat Roman, a tucked Roman with the tucks stitched to the front or the back. The only difference is you're going to sew in our lift band material into the hem of your shade. The lift band material is available in white or ivory, and it is 10 inches wide on 109-yard rolls. Before you fold up your hem, go ahead and stitch in a pocket for your weight bar. Then turn your double hem up and stitch it across the shade, incorporating the lift band into the hem. You want to make sure the lift band is very secure. That's what's going to raise your shade. You will have a stitch line through to the front of your shade. If you don't want to see the stitch line, just plan to have an extra fold, a permanent fold, at the bottom of your shade. After your shade is finished, you'll want to sew on our new end cap and center support rings. The end cap is a little bit larger and has a solid end, and they go along your side hem. The support rings go within the body of your shade, and that's where you insert a fiberglass rib. On the end caps, if you find it's a little tight to get the fiberglass rib in place, just start turning it around, sort of screw it in place, and you do want to add a little bit of glue, like our fringe adhesive, right inside the end cap to help keep the rib from ever pulling out. After all your rings are sewn in place, and they will need to be hand sewn, and your fiberglass ribs are in place, bring your lift band under the ribs up to the top of the shade. So you're using the lift band instead of a lift cord. When making a lift band shade, you're going to use a roller system, either a spring roller or a roller clutch. The shade here on my left is a roller clutch. When using a roller clutch, you will have a bead chain loop. So you want to make sure you have the new drive tension device on the bead chain loop with a warning tag. To put the bead chain loop into the clutch, you'll simply slide it underneath of the guide and bring it around and start feeding it into the sprockets, much like you would if you're putting on a chain on a bicycle. So once you get it started, you can sort of give it a tug and pull it, and it'll fall into place like this. After that's done, go ahead and cut your aluminum roller to size. You will want to use the 1.5-inch roller, and you will have to take allowances. The allowances are included in the instructions. You'll insert your clutch into one end of your roller and your end plug into the other end. It's that simple. Install it on brackets and then bring your lift band up. And you're going to stick your lift band onto the roller. The rollers come with sticky tape already on the roller. You'll peel away the tape at the lift band and stick the lift band right to the roller. So there's the end of the lift band. You're going to stick that right on, and I've added a little extra tape just for a little security and to keep the lift band from ever fraying or coming loose. You will level the shade from the top. Because the lift band's sewn in, you can't level it from the bottom. So if you find after you've raised and lowered the shade that's a little uneven, you can remove it from the tape, stick it back on, and reposition the lift band. It's very, very easy to put that together. To do a roller spring, as is on this shade, you'll start with the same aluminum 1.5-inch roller tube, cut it to size, insert your spring into one end and your end plug into the other end. And that gets installed on the brackets. One bracket has a flat area for the pin on the spring, and the other bracket is for the end plug. The end plug has a round end, and that goes into that bracket. You will want to make sure that the flat pin on the spring, if you're at the back of the shade, is on your left. If you're facing the front of the shade, it will be on your right. After you put the spring and the end plug in place, put your brackets under your mount board, and you're going to put it right into the brackets. To adjust your tension, roll the shade on the lift bands all the way up, put it in the brackets. I like to do the flat pin first. Snap it in place, and then check to see if your tension is correct. It may be too tight, it may be too loose. If it's too loose, put your shade all the way down, take it off the brackets, roll it back up, put it back in place, and then it'll start to get a little more tension every time you pull it up and down. It does take a little bit of adjustment, but it's not hard to do. When transporting roller shades, you don't want the roller to fall out of the brackets, so stick some bubble wrap up inside between the board and your roller and have your shade in the up position. When using a roller clutch, before you send the shade out for delivery, you want to make sure you install the drive tension device on your bead chain or cord loop and make the shade inoperable. To do that, you'll raise your shade all the way up to the highest position and slide your tension device all the way up until it hits the clutch. That makes the shade inoperable until it gets on the job site and the installer has an opportunity to install the tension device properly onto the wall. To learn how to use the tension device, be sure to see our other video on the drive tension device. I think you'll enjoy using the new SureShade lift band products to create shades.